welcome back to another episode of the UMass Sports Insider, our final episode of the year.
And it's a great one that we have in store. We sit down with women's hoops Sydney Taylor and Destiny Philoxy as we look at some of their recent milestones. We also have a chat with UMass men's hoops senior Noah Fernandez.
So many events coming up in the new year, and you can take advantage with the UMass Athletics Break Pass, men's and women's basketball, along with hockey, 11 events for only $110. Before we get to the student athletes, we sit down with the Director of Athletics, Ryan Bamford. And we continue on the UMass Sports Insider with our Coffee with a Coach, presented by Duncan. We go straight to the top for this coach. He's our Director of Athletics, Ryan Bamford. Welcome to the set, Bammer.
Look at these Duncan holiday cups.
I know, looking
like
sharp,
it.
huh?
Thank you for the coffee.
Finally, we got you in studio here. Appreciate you taking the time. What do you think of the digs?
I like it. I like what you've done with the place, as they say.
We're wrapping up the fall sports have already wrapped up. I want to get your thoughts on what has already transpired and what is coming down the line. So when you look back at men's and women's soccer, field hockey, the sports that took place in the fall, what are some of the takeaways that you had from your position?
You know, I think we're very, very close to winning championships in a number of those sports. Women's soccer's been close the last 4 years. Men's soccer making the tournament. Gosh, we were undefeated going into the beginning to middle part of October. And men's soccer, really good men's soccer league right now. And then field hockey gets to the championship game. St. Joe's has been a little bit of a juggernaut. And but we're close to winning championships there. Good fall for those teams. 2 cross-country teams. Had some injuries later in the fall. Won a New England championship on the men's side. Didn't do probably as well as we had hoped in the A10 meet, but I think both of those are relatively young rosters able to build. And so on the whole, from an Olympic sports standpoint, pretty positive fall. No championships to speak of, but I think really good momentum for those programs, and I'm eager to see what they do in the spring and heading into next fall.
I know you also get asked a lot about football. UMass ending the season 1-11, Don Brown's first year back. What did you see from the team in terms of areas of improvement?
There were some games that I thought we probably left something out on the field. We probably could have converted to win some more games, and we were hoping to win a handful. But 1-11, you are what your record says you are, right? And so we've got some retooling to do, and there's no doubt Don's really eager. He's having player meetings this week to figure out, all right, where do we go from here? And we're going to continue to support it at a high level. I think we're headed in the right direction. I feel positive about that. I do think we're making some good strides, but there's a lot of work to get done, and 1-11 is not good enough. Yep. So we're excited to kind of get in the off season and work hard to build momentum headed into next fall.
But at the end of the day, it comes down to resources, right? And
No doubt.
The world of FBS football has changed drastically. So what is the situation with Massachusetts and the resources that you have, and how can you be competitive?
Well, it's a great question. I would tell you that in the time that we've been an FBS institution, we've tried to get our resources up to the level of our peers. And I think you saw a pretty well-resourced UConn program this year go out and win 6 games. And for us, that's important. Where we've provided resources to programs in our athletic department, hockey, men's basketball, women's basketball, our Olympic sports, when we compete on the resource front, we compete competitively. And that's what we've got to do in football. And it's really an appeal to the people who support our program to keep supporting, to keep investing. But it's also an appeal to people around the state, legislators, people administratively on this campus and in the president's office. We all have to come together and push this football program forward. And that's on me, ultimately, to be the person who quarterbacks that, to use a football analogy, and to say that, if we want to do ultimately what we've seen some of our peer institutions do, and that's get bowl eligible, win 6+ games, and really create pride around our football program again, I think we have to increase our level of investment and the resources so Coach Brown and his staff have everything they need to win.
You mentioned men's and women's basketball and hockey. We're going to bring you back to talk about those sports.
Okay.
We'll talk to you a little bit later on down the line. More to come here as we continue on the UMass Sports Insider.
I literally just looked at my mom and I saw her crying, and we both looked at each other and we were like, what is going on?
Tiana was suffering a stroke and was rushed to Baystate, where the neurology team worked quickly to save her young and promising life.
This experience changed the type of person and the type of nurse that I want to be.
To watch her story, go to baystatehealth.org/mystory.
I want to help people the way Baystate helped me.
Baystate Health, advancing care, enhancing lives.
We know you're busier than ever before, caring for your children, your parents, or a loved one. And don't forget about yourself. You deserve a health plan that guides you along the way and helps you make the decisions that matter most. Health New England has options designed to meet the needs of everyone in your life. We'll be here for you every step of the way. Get a health plan that grows with you. Health New England, where you matter.
We're talking about milestones, and you've reached a couple. Most games played in program history, and most assists.
Yeah.
What do those mean for you personally, or do they mean anything at all?
I would say the most assists means more because that's something I was chasing since, say, my sophomore year. I realized that I'm a good distributor and I could reach a goal. That one hit me more, but it didn't hit as much as I wanted to because the same night I reached it, the same night we lost, so it was mixed emotions. But I am proud of myself because I didn't really believe I could make it, but it was like a goal that I hope I can make, and then I reached it. And the support my teammates and the coaching staff gave me, I teared up a little bit on the plane. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot more to do, so I really can't just get a big head.
When we talked at the beginning of the year, spoke with you, spoke with Sam about coming back one more year to make another impact on this program. Have you guys accomplished at least the first half of the season what you feel like you've wanted to accomplish?
Yes, but I would say no, honestly. We played 3 Power 5 schools. We lost to 2 of them, Tennessee and Missouri. We beat Arizona State. I would say, me personally, those was like big goals that games we should have won in general, but we fell short. I feel like we have gotten a lot of recognition, but those 3 games would have got us the recognition we deserved. But I mean, you win some, you lose some, and you just got to keep pushing. But best believe that loss did hurt us, and we are not happy.
Do you think those games, including a blowout win of Arizona State, by the way, you kind of glossed over that, set you up for this season's run through the A-10?
Yeah, we played, Tennessee's not an easy team to beat or easy team to play against. Neither was Missouri neither was Missouri. So I feel like that's just that just showed us what we're capable of, and we just got to play every single game like we played Tennessee and Missouri. And A-10 level is different from Tennessee's and Missouri's. So we just got to play UMass basketball, like we've been saying all year, and I feel like we'll be fine, honestly.
What happens for you at the end of the year? What's the next step?
I've been asked this question a lot, honestly. The next step, I feel like since I've created my plan B, which is becoming a sports commentator, a lot of doors have opened, especially with me talking a lot on Twitter and people actually paying attention. But I feel like I'll take the basketball route because that's the safest and the smartest route. I mean, I've been playing basketball my whole life. Why not continue? So I think overseas might be something I will look into. It's far though. I like home, but I mean, if that's something I want to do, I'll probably do overseas and then try to come back into sports commentating in the future.
Well, you know you always have a sports commentating home right here at Massachusetts. Destiny, thanks so much.
You're welcome, man. I like that.
Okay, I want you to take me back. I want you to take me back to when you were recruited here to campus from Coach Verdi.
Oh, shit, a long time ago.
Do you remember what was said to you or what they told you you could accomplish here?
Yeah, for sure. Like I'll never forget, he told me I could be one of the best players to ever play at UMass. Kind of looked at him a little sideways. I don't know about that, we'll see. I mean, I always believed in myself, but at the time, I wasn't playing, so it was kind of hard to see where he was coming from. But yeah, I'll never forget that, where he told me that.
Do you feel like you've kind of taken steps to achieve, if
Yeah.
that's a goal, to now
Of course that's a goal.
where you are?
Yeah, I think just starting off with all conference teams in the A10 and then hopefully try to get a player of the year. I think that's great steps in the right direction. And yeah, be on that list, be on the all-scoring list, trying to get as many points as I can. But yeah.
Did you know you were close to 1,000 career points?
I did. My mom told me I had around 60 in the beginning of the season. I don't really follow that. My mom follows all my stats, so she always lets me know.
One more to Sydney Taylor. The three is connected on.
I'm not worried about hitting it at a certain time. But I think that game I didn't know I had 6 or 7, something like that. But
Your mom should keep track of
Yeah.
those types of things. It's good that she does. What does that number mean? I mean, it's a big number. It's a nice
Yeah.
round number that everyone says, hey, you get to this benchmark. You've
Yeah.
achieved quite a bit in your career. What does it mean for you to get 1,000 points?
I guess it just shows how good of a player I am. I can score the ball and I can do a whole bunch of other things, but I mean, scoring is the main part of basketball. You can't win if you can't score. So I think I was recruited as a scorer. I think I brought that here. I think I proved myself day in and day out. And yeah, it's just a big milestone. Glad to be a part of it.
We talked to Destiny about the milestone she hit, which
Yeah.
was the all-time assist record. She's actually one of the top 15 in A10 history now in assists. What is your relationship with her, and how has her distribution helped you in the scoring column?
Well, off the court, me and Destiny are really close. One of probably the closest friends I have on the team. Probably one of the first people I met here at UMass. You gotta always expect the pass coming from Destiny. Whether you don't think she's gonna get it to you, she's gonna wrap it around, she's gonna swing baseline, hit the drift, whatever it is, just always being ready. And she can see, she knows when the defense is gonna move, she knows when to pass, when not to pass. So just always having my hands ready. And she finding me and me knocking down the open shot.
I've heard Coach Verdi talk a lot since I've been around him about family and
Yeah.
about how you guys have kind of a bond, not only on the court, but also on a personal level. You mentioned
Yeah.
your relationship with Destiny. Is that transfer from your relationship as a team to what you guys are able to do on the court?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we definitely had our ups and downs, off the court as a team. We faced a lot of adversity. But having probably the same 4 or 5 starters for the past 3 years, our chemistry is through the roof. We know what everyone can do. We know what people can't do. When people are down, we know how to pick them up. And when one person's struggling, another person can score the ball. We have 5 people who can score the ball in our starting 5, I would say. So I feel like that chemistry is just, it's great. And a lot of teams are still struggling to find that. But we're very fortunate to have a close starting 5, and as well as people, we're still developing. A lot of people off the bench. We have a couple of transfers, some freshmen. So just developing them and making it even better.
Congratulations on 1,000 points.
Thank you.
Let's see, 1,500 possible?
Yeah, I think that's possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
In 1980, when my brother bought the gas station, it was a dying business. So the lottery really helped us stay in business.
We used our commission money to put a new roof on the building, new siding, and new windows.
If not for the lottery, some of these businesses would have been closed up a long time ago.
I never conceptualized a big prize on a scratch ticket. I won $1 million that day. Thank you, Massachusetts State Lottery.
50 years of helping small businesses.
50 years of winning.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the Rental Source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
You getting injured at the end of that Harvard game, how bad did your leg hurt, and how badly did you want to stay out there to make those 2 shots?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say 10 for sure. But, you know, just wanting to stay on the court and having that pride, you know, for Massachusetts and, you know, just realizing and embracing how big of a game, you know, that was for our program and our state. You know, I just wanted to have the biggest role that I could play in that game and do whatever I had to do for us to win. And so just the competitive nature in me, I didn't want to have to be taken out the game because I wouldn't have been able to come back in. So I just wanted to stay in there, you know, for the team and for everyone, you know, just to show our heart and our identity that we have here, you know, growing at UMass.
Late in the second half when you start to take over, you know, is that something that you do by design to say, hey, I'm trying to will our team to win?
Yeah, I think like the toughest teams to play are like teams that have a lot of guys. And so, you know, being a point guard, you know, the hardest thing to do is to get everyone involved and also get your own buckets. And I think you could use that to your advantage though, you know, like early in the game, if a lot of people are going and on the scout, it says, you know, Matt Cross averages 10 and RJ averages 10 and he averages 10. You can't really pick out a guy to like stop because, you know, you have so many pieces that are making this product.
What you're talking about is setting guys up for success.
Yeah, it's hard to put myself before them coming into the game because I sort of know my abilities and what I can do and what I'm prepared to do for the game. But I just want to put everybody else in the best positions that they can to make everything easier for them. In turn, make it easier for myself.
Who's the hardest guy you've had to guard?
Ooh. I'd say KJ Simpson from Colorado was really tough. He was fast, he had a different kind of pace, and those West Coast guys are also always fun because, you know, they got a lot of skill and stuff like that, so I think he was the toughest matchup for sure.
You've been through, in your career, multiple coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the first year with head coach Frank Martin. What makes him different?
I just think his intensity is really good and his passion definitely takes over. You know, people see it on the sideline and stuff like that, and you could love it, you could complain about it, but you know, all that stuff comes from love and caring, and you know, when he sees you do things every day at a high level, and you come into the game and you're not doing it at that level, you know, he's gonna push you to bring it to that level, and you know, I just appreciate that about him because I think he was someone that I really needed, you know, in my life and on the court, you know, just to sort of hold me accountable and push me to do the things that, you know, I've sort of dreamed of doing, you know, my whole life, so.
Let's transition from what you've learned from Coach Martin to how you might apply the lessons you've learned in basketball to becoming a father this spring. Is there anything there that you have learned here that will prepare you for what's gonna happen?
Yeah, you know, just like, just having like, you know, my younger sister my whole life, you know, I just always tried to be, you know, a good role model, good man, you know, just growing up my whole life. And I think just taking that, you know, and in basketball, you try and do the same thing. You know, you have children and people that come and look up to you at the games, and you know, you just want to be the best person and the best player that you can. And you know, for my son, I just want to, you know, sort of have that same sort of mindset and just being the best man I could be, and I don't really like to lead by speaking. Everyone tries to get me to talk all the time and speaking, you know. I'm more of an example type of person because I think when you see things, it's easier to, you know, sort of modify it or keep it the same. And, you know, for my son, I just want to do that and, you know, be the best role model that, you know, I could be for him, for sure.
Well, we're happy that you took the time to talk to us today. We appreciate it. Thank you so much,
Thank
Noah.
you so
Good luck.
much. Thank you.
And back with you one final time here from inside the Mullins Center on the UMass Sports Insider. We return Director of Athletics Ryan Bamford. And Ryan, big news came out a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. A full extension for head coach Tori Verdi for the women's basketball program, 2026, 2027, that contract extension. What goes into making that decision, and how do you feel about being able to retain his services?
Well, it's kind of unique that we were announcing it at the end of November. We've been working on it since March, really, since the season ended and our women lost in the NCAAs to Notre Dame. And just as things happen sometimes at UMass, we just had to work through all of the administrative pieces. But happy to announce it. Everything got executed, and Tori has done an amazing job in his 6 years, and it's a well-deserved extension. We've extended him now 3 times in his 6 years in recognition of the really good leadership that he and his staff have had over that program.
There was a championship at the Myrtle Beach Invitational for the men's basketball team. There was a championship for the women's basketball team at the FIU Thanksgiving Classic.
We like championships.
It feels good.
We like championships.
Does it feel for you now with Tori at the helm and Frank Martin on the men's side that this basketball is essentially back in full force here?
We're in great position with these two leaders, and I think you're starting to see it competitively now with the wins and losses. And I'm excited because as we finish up this semester, our non-conference schedules, we've had some really good results. I think we're building something heading into the A-10 schedule. But there's no doubt, I've got great peace of mind having Frank and Tori at the head of these two programs.
We've got a game at the Mass Mutual Center coming up for men's basketball, a very good North Texas team that has really been a powerhouse in their conference. That's part of the Basketball Hall of Fame tournaments that they've been able to run. How did that, setup develop, and what's it mean for you guys to be able to play down in Springfield?
We've got a great relationship with the Basketball Hall of Fame. John DeLevo's the CEO of the Hall of Fame, is a UMass alum, and any opportunity to just kind of move ourselves. We try to get to Boston once a year. We haven't played a game in Springfield in a while. It's a nice game to play there, a non-conference against a good opponent. Hoping to have that place filled full of maroon and white. They beat us last year in Texas, so it's a great net game for us to see where we stand and hopefully build a postseason resume. So yeah, we're excited about that, and working with the Hall of Fame on a number of things. It allows you to attract opponents and games in situations where you may not be able to otherwise. And so using that Hall of Fame relationship has been a good advantage for us here at UMass.
21 sports, there's a lot to get to, all right? So there's one that a couple of weeks ago came back from Northern Ireland, and men's hockey, back-to-back Hockey East champs, won against Lowell, tied against Quinnipiac. What did that experience mean for this program?
You know, I think it speaks a little bit, that 3-week period speaks to Greg Carville as a head coach, candidly. Like, we had 2 tough weekends, Providence and BU losses, come back, beat UNH in a 1-game set, go on the road, go to a neutral site in Ireland, great experience for our young people, beat Lowell, tie the number 2 team in the country in Quinnipiac. We really pivoted, and I think this is arguably one of Greg's best coaching jobs so far. And so, you know, I think our league is really, really good this year. And there's an opportunity for us to get ourselves to the top of the pack. And if you do that in Hockey East, you can play for championships and you can play for postseason in the NCAA, which is what we aspire to do every single year.
Before we let you go, what are you looking forward to over the second half of the year?
Wow, well, 2022 is going to close. We've had a good 2022. I think 2023 will be a difference maker for this athletics department and this university. And I'm excited for the finish of our winter sports teams. We've got a great spring sports schedule and a lot of teams that I think are going to compete for championships. So we're excited to, I never wish the year away, but I'm always excited to get to May and see, all right, how many wins did we have, get to commencement, celebrate our young people getting their diploma, and go on to the next year and get prepared for what's next.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right, that is Ryan Bamford. Big thanks to everybody for joining us throughout the show. We hope to see you at the Mass Mutual Center on Saturday or back here at the Mullen Center for men's and women's basketball coming up next week. Until next time, from Amherst, my name's Jay Burnham saying so long, everybody.